Welcome back to the Operation Freedom YouTube channel. What we do here is shine the light of truth on the deep state. They hate that. We do it figuratively with our presentations. We do it literally with our sponsor's product, PatriotLegacy.com. PatriotLegacy.com, featured product of theirs, the Patriot Beacon. 6 overall lighting functions. In addition, solar powered, don't need batteries. You can charge your other devices like your phone from it. In addition, you got a compass, you got a window breaking hammer, and you got a seatbelt cutter. Plus, if those deep state dweebs get just a little bit too close to you, blast them with this. They're gone. Go to patrioticlegacy.com, patrioticlegacy.com. Get yourself, your kids, your grandkids, your car. Can carry it with you anytime. patrioticlegacy.com, the Patriot Beacon. Every person performing a procedure at any kind of facility should have admitting privileges at a hospital, let alone a hospital 30 miles away. If you're operating at an outside facility, I would think the furthest there should be even consideration is 5 miles, let alone 1 mile. But the fact that this is even a case is sick, because it's not looking out for the welfare of whoever the patients are that are coming to this provider. I go on with the Judas Roberts. Even Judas Roberts chastises Schumer for threatening statements about Kavanaugh and Gorsuch. This from Judas Roberts. This morning, Senator Schumer spoke at a rally in front of the Supreme Court while a case was being argued inside. Senator Schumer referred to 2 members of the court by name and said he wanted to tell them that, quote, "You have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You will not know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions," end quote. Justices know that criticism comes with the territory, but threatening statements of this sort from the highest levels of government are not only inappropriate, they are dangerous. All members of the court will continue to do their job without fear or favor from whatever quarter. Well, I can tell you that the amount of threats that a number of us in the alternative media are getting over the past week has escalated significantly. And what we saw from Schumer acting out, all the other little puppets associated with the globalist syndicate are also acting out in many different levels. And I believe that is not out of power or positions of power. It is out of desperation and panic. They see their system coming to a close and an end, and that they will ultimately be held accountable, and they're panicking. Now, going back to Schumer, there are critics of Schumer, and there rightfully should be. Everyone should be a critic of what Schumer did and said. That came out and said, well, Schumer's statement threatens an independent judiciary, end quote. Why does anyone believe there's still an independent judiciary based on what we've seen in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, decade, millennium? I mean, I have a question. Does an independent judiciary approve illegal surveillance like the FISA court did of a presidential campaign without the adequate documentation or proof? You know, I take you back to December of 2019. In studying public rebuke, FISA court slams the FBI, says worried about other warrants. Okay. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which, by the way, is up for renew, and I believe it should not be renewed under any circumstances. The FISA court slammed FBI on December 17, 2019, in a rare public statement over the agency's handling of former Trump campaign aide Carter Page's warrant application and subsequent renewals. Quote, "In order to appreciate the seriousness of that misconduct and its implications, it is useful to understand certain procedural and substantive requirements that apply to the government's conduct of electronic surveillance for foreign intelligence purposes," end quote. That was from the FISA court. Well, wait a minute. You know, isn't that convenient? That isn't that convenient that they put that statement out, trying to say, well, it's all the FBI. Yeah, the FBI was a problem, as we discussed with Buck Revell in that interview, which is why you have to watch it, which is on our platform, free. We released it from the subscriber side. But there's also another problem here. And that is everybody tends whistling past the graveyard about these FISA court judges. And by the way, who's in charge of the FISA court? That would be John Judas Roberts, right, the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Look, Devin Nunes has gone on record and said that he sent letters to the Chief Judge of the FISA Court, Rosemary Collyer, back in February of 2018, almost 2 years before this little memo was sent out by the FISA Court that I just read to you. And he contacted Rosemary Collyer in the FISA Court and said, listen, you're being fed a bunch of misinformation, disinformation, lies by the FBI, and it's manipulating your court. And Devin Nunes has reported that his response from Rosemary Collyer was, no action needs to be taken, quote, trust the executive branch, end quote. In other words, trust the FBI. What? Now, of note, this memo I read to you was from December 17th, 2019. On December 20th, 2019, who resigned as the head FISA court judge and from the FISA court itself? That would be Rosemary Collyer. Let's fast forward to this past week. March 6th. It's from the Epoch Times. Surveillance court bans the FBI and Department of Justice officials who aired in Carter Page wiretap applications. Now they're banning people from submitting information to them who they think have been dishonest. Are you kidding? Where were the FISA court judges years ago to say, wait a minute, this Steele character that you're presenting, who is he? What's his background? Who might have paid for that? Oh, the DNC? Oh, Hillary Clinton? Those questions should have been asked by the judges. If they were not, they are complicit. They are negligent. They need to be stopped. And that's why the FISA court reapproval process should be stopped in its tracks. It needs to go away. And our country will be, I believe, much safer, and so will the Constitution. I get a lot of grief from people when I say get rid of the FISA court, that I'm being unpatriotic. Give me a break. What these people have done in the FISA court and in courtrooms around our country, it's not just an injustice to the individual who's getting screwed in the process. It's against every American citizen. It's against the Constitution. And they finally need to be held accountable. From the Epoch Times, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court on March 5th effectively barred FBI and Justice Department officials involved in the infamous application to surveil former Trump campaign associate Carter Page. So it's all their fault. Well, yeah, it was their fault. But here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to lay the blame 100% at the FBI. And that's fine to lay some blame there. But they need to lay the blame on themselves as well. You think they're going to do that? Heck no. They're like good deep state puppets. Oh no, always shove it off on somebody else. The Chief Justice of the Secret Court, now James Boasberg, since Collyer stepped down on December 20th, 2019, ordered the ban in a 19-page opinion. Boasberg wrote, quote, no Department of Justice or FBI personnel under disciplinary or criminal review relating to their work on FISA applications shall participate in drafting, verifying, reviewing, or submitting such applications to the court, end quote. Oh, give me a break. Of course they shouldn't. And maybe the very people making decisions also should be thrown out of the process too, because they messed up on a huge level. And if that isn't bad enough, I'm bringing forward something else. Remember that name Rosemary Collyer as the head of the FISA court who, when Devin Nunes in 2018 sent her that information in February 2018 saying, you're being lied to. The court's being lied to. This stuff isn't verified. It's bogus. And trust the executive branch, her response was, right? Well, it goes back before that. I've said this before. You'll never hear, see, read, or experience this in the bought-off lamestream fake media, but it's the primary reason, one of the primary reasons why the FISA court should be disbanded yesterday. Headline from Mary Fanning and Alan Jones, investigative journalists. FISA judge Rosemary Collier's order. Ready? Destroy surveillance data collected on and before March 17, 2017. The exact date the illegal surveillance platform, The Hammer, run by the CIA FBI wiretap on Trump, was exposed. On that same day, Schiff held meeting on Trump wiretap claim. Senior U.S. District Judge Rosemary Collier, presiding judge of the U.S. Foreign Surveillance Court, on April 26, 2017, almost a year before Devin Nunes gave them a heads up, this happened. April 26, 2017, Collier ordered U.S. intelligence agencies to destroy evidence of illegal domestic surveillance collected on and before March 17, 2017, the exact date in which the American report exposed John Brennan and James Clapper's use of the Hammer illegal surveillance system in wiretapping Donald Trump. Look, Judge Collier's order to delete domestic surveillance data. And I've talked to a lot of people in the legal profession about this, and it's unequivocal. It's unanimous, which is rare in that group to come to a unanimous opinion on something. But it's been unanimous that her order to delete domestic surveillance data constitutes destruction of evidence and is a violation of the Federal Records Act. So right now, the FISA court's trying to save their own bacon. And they're pointing it all at the FBI. And they're a big part of this. But they're not all of it. And the other part of this is this FISA court. And they're trying to shift everything off on the FBI so that they get their approval of their court so they can keep on going. So here's what you need to do. You need to call your member of Congress and your 2 senators in Washington, D.C., and the White House and tell them, enough. The FISA court needs to be disbanded, it needs to go away, and it surely, under no circumstances, should be given any sense of approval. If they want to get wiretaps, go do it the old-fashioned way. Through district courts. Through level 3 courts. Not this. Not in a secret court where proceedings are not recorded, where the other side is not represented. No. Because currently the way the system has been devised, it's something out of the Stasi's East Germany, Stalin's Soviet Union, and Mao's China. But the only way this goes away is with pressure from you. True. If you expect these clowns in Washington and in Congress on both sides, remember, there's one aisle. It's called the Republican aisle. If you expect them to do the right thing and protect the Constitution, dream on. There's a couple that might, but no more than a couple. But if they know you're wise to an issue, if they know you're mobilizing on an issue, they might hold their nose, but they're potentially forced to do the right thing. I thank you for joining me today. I thank you for support of this platform. I hope you become a member of our subscription service at davejanda.com, 30 cents a day. You can sign up for a month. If you don't like it, get rid of it. But just the podcasts from this past week are worth, a lot more than $9. And again, you have access to all the podcasts from all the shows going all the way back to October of 2010. Plus, you have the extra shows we do every week. The WTF Geopolitical Show, our Insider Insight interview show, our Department of Advanced Research show, our Contributing Editor section, our Healthcare Policy series, our Nutritional series, all available for you. We hope you become a part of our freedom family. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today, and try to make some time to make those calls. It's really important. Thank you for your time.